sketch, I did this 3 different times. I did a foundation of just the primary, which would have been this one, but I added a circular drive, as you can see on all of them. This one's a little light. I did a brick walkway. This would have been a concrete pad is how I operated from. Put a fire pit, deck, spa in the back, and also stone pad around the spa. On the one that I did in color, this one is in shade, by the way, and I didn't do the great job as I would have liked with the shadows. But nonetheless, I put it in there, put a fence line around and the border between the property for the plants. Same thing on this one, primarily. The front's going to be the same, the fence. Mailbox up here. This would represent more flowers than anything else since the space is so small. But the driveway entrance is 10 feet wide, and the walkway, I think I had about 15 feet. The doorway was 4 feet. Put a gate to the back of the yard, fire pit, but more trees and plants in the back of this one as compared to the other. And I put wood decking around the spa this time as compared to the stone. And I did the forest land on here. The easiest thing, I guess, was getting the base plan done, and then trying to run different iterations rather than I think some of the others had a lot of stuff in it. I made the judgment call to just try and do things differently, a little bit simpler. The last one I have actually has the measurements for the fence line itself, the property line, the dimensions for the driveway, and that's how I broke that down. I didn't want to get too cluttered with this since I'm learning how to do this.
It's okay.
And that's all I have.
Hey, Nancy, you want to go?
We've already discussed, but you guys didn't hear. St. Clair was asking about, if the fence is actually going on the property line, how do you show the property line? And the answer is, you would actually show the property line, the long line and then dash, and then put the fence inside it a little bit. Is that standard?
Right, so the traditional practice is always to put a fence line about 6 inches inside the property line so that there's not dispute with your neighbor, your client's neighbor, or whomever, about where the fence line sits.
Right.
And so that is a fairly traditional practice unless there's really specificity from the client or the situation where the fence line absolutely has to be on the property line. And then you would only do that after it's been surveyed and pinned so you know exactly where the property line is. I can't tell you how many sites I've been out to where fence lines are way on someone else's property or on government property, and one might wonder if they hadn't intentionally been put there.
Yeah. People trying to claim extra space.
Do fence lines vary from state to state? Because
You mean the setback part of it?
yes, because I just recently put up a fence or hired someone to put up a fence, and he insisted on 2 feet from the property line.
I've never heard that. That's not to say that's not to be the case, but I've never heard a situation where fence lines are supposed to be in more than 6 inches. It's usually, there may be things that are special in that case where if you don't pull a permit, you could get in trouble putting up a fence line, but that should not affect where it's being placed. And in some HOAs or in some situations, the fence line actually cannot be, so everybody, homeowners association or something like that, you cannot put a fence line and sometimes in the front yard, or you can't put it beyond the building restriction line, or so sometimes there's real specificity about what you can and cannot do, but that sounds like an anomaly to me, not knowing the exact situation.
The other like a lot of jurisdictions that have to come in so many feet and might have different height restrictions and all.
You'll get to know your local zoning folks really well soon, and do try to establish a rapport with them. If you can spend the time, go in, say hello, introduce yourself, ask for their regulations so you have it up front, so you can help advise folks accordingly, because it is all different, and commercial is different than residential. Right.
Well, thank you for taking a stab at the color. I know you guys are dying to use color, but you didn't have to. Nice job on your title block. You got your graphic scale on this one. Everything else that was required is on here. So the next time you do a title block, you can start to personalize it and make it a little, whatever
My
you
own
want.
company.
Oh yeah, you can create your own company, et cetera, et cetera.
Nice job on the shadows.
Yes, he doesn't think so, but great first stab at shadows, very nicely done.
And we talked about that we're in the northern hemisphere and they should actually be going.
Well, that's the western exposure since north is down.
So you, as long as you are consistent, you may choose which way your shadows are going.
Yeah. Okay, number 2 is